My fingers trembled as I pressed the button on the security panel. The red light blinked twice, then died. No power. That's when I heard the deadbolt slide into place above me, sealing the basement door from the outside. "Brandon?" My voice cracked. "Brandon, what's happening?" Silence. Just the hum of nothing. Even the furnace had stopped. I turned slowly, my heart hammering against my ribs. The basement suddenly felt smaller, darker. The single window near the ceiling, the one I'd always meant to replace now, looked impossibly high, impossibly small. Outside, I could see Brandon's shoes. My son's shoes, standing there, not moving. "Son, I need to come upstairs. I need my medication." The shoes shifted, then footsteps, moving away. Up the stairs I couldn't reach. Back to the main floor where my phone sat on the kitchen counter, where my life had been just 5 minutes ago. Let me back up. You need to understand how I got here. 3 weeks ago, I returned from what was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. After Elizabeth passed 2 years back, I'd thrown myself into work, into routine, into anything that kept me from rattling around in our too-big house with too many memories. My daughter Sarah, she lives in Seattle now, convinced me to take a trip. "Dad, you're 67, not 97. Go see the world Mom always wanted to show you." So I did. I booked a 2-week tour through the Southwest, the Grand Canyon, Sedona, all those red rocks Elizabeth had circled in magazines for years. Someday, she'd always say. Someday never came for her. But I went. For both of us. The trip was good, healing even. I took photos, wrote in a journal Sarah gave me, talked to other travelers. For the first time since the funeral, I felt something other than numb. Brandon had the house key, of course. He and Nicole lived just 20 minutes away in a cramped apartment, always talking about saving for a down payment. "Don't worry about the house, Pop," he'd said when I told him about the trip. "I'll check on it, water the plants, grab the mail. You just go enjoy yourself." I pulled into the driveway late on a Sunday evening, tired but content. The porch light was on. That was nice of him. I grabbed my suitcase from the trunk and walked up the steps, already thinking about my own bed, my own coffee maker, my own everything. The key stuck in the lock. That was odd. I wiggled it, pushed, and the door swung open. The smell hit me first. Not bad, exactly, just different. Like someone else's house. Pine cleaner, maybe? Something artificial. "Hello?" I called out, dragging my suitcase inside. "Anyone here?" No answer, but the house felt occupied. You know that feeling? When you walk into a space and it's clear someone has been living there, breathing there, existing there in your absence? I set my suitcase down and walked into the living room. That's when I saw it. The furniture was different. Not all of it. My recliner was still there, Elizabeth's bookshelf, but the couch had been moved. The coffee table was gone entirely, replaced by a sleeker one I'd never seen before. The family photos on the mantel had been rearranged. Some were missing. The one of Elizabeth and me at Niagara Falls, our 10th anniversary, gone. What in the world? I moved through the house like a ghost in my own home. The kitchen had new bar stools. The guest bathroom had different towels. A new shower curtain, with geometric patterns Elizabeth would have hated. Upstairs, the spare bedroom, Brandon's old room, looked like someone had been staying there. The bed was made, but there were clothes in the closet. Men's clothes. Brandon's clothes. My bedroom was untouched, thank God, but when I opened Elizabeth's closet, my chest tightened. Boxes. Her clothes were in boxes, taped shut, stacked in the corner like they were ready for donation. I sat on the edge of the bed, my hands shaking. What had Brandon done? My phone. I needed my phone. I pulled it from my pocket battery at 4% and called Brandon's number. He answered on the third ring. "Hey, Pop, you're back. How was the trip?" "Brandon." I kept my voice steady. "Why does the house look different?" A pause. "Too long. What do you mean?" "The furniture. The photos. Your mother's clothes in boxes. What's going on?" "Oh, that." He laughed, but it sounded hollow. "Yeah, Nicole and I thought we'd help out a little. You know, freshen things up. We figured you'd come back from the trip ready for a new chapter. A fresh start. You moved my wife's photos." "Just rearranged them, Pop," we thought. "You boxed her clothes without asking me." Another pause. "We were trying to help. We thought it might be easier for you if... Come over. Now. We need to talk about this." "It's late, Pop. How about tomorrow?" "We can." "Now, Brandon." I hung up. My phone died 30 seconds later. They arrived 40 minutes later. I heard Brandon's car in the driveway, the slam of 2 doors. I was sitting in the living room, my altered living room, waiting. Nicole came in first. She'd always been beautiful in that sharp, calculated way. Perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect smile that never quite reached her eyes. "Edward, welcome home. How was?" "Sit down." Brandon followed her in, hands in his pockets, looking everywhere except at me. He'd gained weight. There were dark circles under his eyes. "Pop, listen. I know it looks bad, but where's the coffee table? The one your mother refinished? We thought this one looked more modern." "That wasn't your decision to make." I stood up, my voice rising. "None of this was your decision. This is my house. These are my things, your mother's things." Nicole's hand went to Brandon's arm. A warning touch. I saw it. "We were just trying to help," she said, her voice honey-sweet. "We thought after 2 years, maybe it was time to what? Erase her? She lived here for 42 years. You don't just erase that because you think a new couch looks more modern." Brandon finally looked at me. There was something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Resentment, desperation. "We've been taking care of this place for you. Every week. Mowing, cleaning, maintenance. Nicole's been so. I didn't ask you to redecorate. I asked you to water the plants." The argument spiraled from there. Voices raised, accusations flying. I demanded they put everything back. They claimed they'd donated things, couldn't undo it. Nicole started crying those perfect, calculated tears. Finally, I said it. "I think you both need to leave. We'll talk about this when everyone's calmer." They left. But something in Brandon's eyes as he walked out that door, something cold and final, made my stomach drop. That was 2 days ago. Yesterday morning I woke up feeling off, dizzy. My hands shook when I made coffee. I chalked it up to stress, jet lag, the emotional exhaustion of coming home to a half-stranger house. But it got worse. By afternoon I was nauseous. My heart raced. I couldn't catch my breath. I called my doctor, got an appointment for that evening. Dr. Patel took my blood pressure 3 times, frowning. "Edward, have you been under unusual stress?" "You could say that. Your pressure's elevated. Heart rate's concerning. I'm going to run some blood work, but I think we might be looking at anxiety. Maybe a mild cardiac event. Have you experienced any chest pain?" I described the tightness, the shortness of breath. She gave me a prescription, told me to rest, to come back in 2 days for the blood results. I drove home feeling like I was made of glass. Everything hurt. Everything felt wrong. That night, I couldn't sleep. The house creaked differently. Or maybe I just noticed it more now that it felt less like home. I got up at 2 a.m., went downstairs for water, and that's when I saw them. Brandon and Nicole. In my kitchen, going through the cabinets. "What are you doing here?" They both jumped. Nicole dropped something, a bottle of Elizabeth's old vitamins. "Pop, Jesus, you scared us." Brandon's laugh was nervous. We still had the key. We were just... At 2 a.m., couldn't sleep. We felt bad about the argument. Thought we'd come by, maybe make you breakfast, surprise you. Nicole's smile was brittle. "We didn't want to wake you." It didn't make sense. None of it made sense. But I was so tired, so foggy that I just nodded. "Please leave. We'll talk tomorrow." They left. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. This morning I woke up worse. Much worse. I could barely stand. My vision blurred. When I tried to call Dr. Patel, my fingers wouldn't work right on the phone. That's when Brandon showed up. "Hey, Pop. Just checking on you." I tried to speak, but my words slurred. "You don't look good. Let me help you downstairs. You should lie down." "No. I need hospital." "You just need rest. Come on. The basement's cooler. It'll help." He helped me down the stairs. I was too weak to resist, too confused. He settled me on the old couch down there, the one from when he was a kid. "Just rest, Pop. I'll be right back." He went upstairs. I heard him moving around. Then I heard the deadbolt. That's when everything clicked into place. The redecoration wasn't about fresh starts. It was about moving in. They'd been slowly taking over my house, replacing my life with theirs. The dizziness, the nausea, the racing heart, not stress, not anxiety. They'd been poisoning me. I dragged myself off the couch, stumbled to the basement door, pounded on it. Brandon, please!" his footsteps above. Then they stopped, right above the door. I'm sorry, Pop. I really am. But Nicole and I, we're drowning. The gambling debts, the loan sharks. We needed this house. We needed. His voice broke. We needed you gone. Brandon, please. I'm your father. I can help. We can figure this out. We tried that. You said no. You said you weren't going to enable my problem. Remember that? You said I needed to face the consequences. A bitter laugh. Well, these are the consequences. Brandon. But his footsteps moved away. Up the stairs, away from my screams. I sank to the floor, my back against the door. My chest ached. My hands shook. How long had they been poisoning me? Weeks? Since before the trip? Is that why they encouraged me to go to speed things along while I was away? Weaken me so I'd be easier to what? Kill? The words stuck in my throat. My son wanted to kill me. I looked around the basement with new eyes. No phone down here. No way to call for help. The window was too high, too small. Even if I could reach it, I couldn't fit through it. Think, Edward. Think. My eyes landed on the old storage shelves. Elizabeth's boxes. My tools. And there in the corner, covered in dust, my old iPad. The one I'd replaced 3 years ago and tossed down here, meaning to wipe it and donate it. I crawled to it. Please have battery. Please. I pressed the power button. Nothing. I found the charger miracle of miracles still plugged into the outlet behind the shelves. I connected it, waited, pressed again. The screen lit up. 12% battery. But no Wi-Fi. Brandon had cut the internet. Wait. The iPad still had cellular, didn't it? We'd kept the data plan active for. God, I couldn't remember why. But the icon was there. 1 bar of signal. 1 blessed bar. My hands shook as I opened the Notes app. I couldn't call, my throat was too tight, too damaged from whatever they'd given me. But I could type. Or better yet, I opened the Voice Memos app. My name is Edward Mitchell. Today is Monday, October 23rd. I'm locked in my basement by my son, Brandon Mitchell, and his wife, Nicole Mitchell. They've been poisoning me, I think. I think they're trying to kill me for my house, for my inheritance. I recorded everything, the redecoration, the argument, finding them in my kitchen at 2 a.m., the symptoms, Dr. Patel's concern, Brandon's confession through the door. If anyone finds this, please know I didn't want to believe it. He's my son, but he's in trouble, and he thinks this is his only way out. He's wrong. God, Brandon, you're so wrong. My voice gave out. I saved the recording, started a new one, then another, documenting every hour, every symptom. Every sound I heard above me, footsteps, voices, the TV playing like everything was normal. I found a box of Elizabeth's old craft supplies. Markers. I wrote on the wall behind the shelves, where someone would have to really look to find it. Brandon locked me here. Poisoned me. Arshasanfinjashur. The hours blurred. No food, no water. Brandon had shut off the basement tap. I tried to ration my energy, but my body was failing. Whatever they'd given me was still in my system, still working. On the iPad, with shaking hands, I found the email app. Still logged in. 1 bar of signal. I composed a message to Sarah, to Dr. Patel, to my lawyer. My fingers kept missing keys. The words came out garbled, but I sent them. Help. Basement. Brandon locked me. Poison. Then the iPad died. 0% battery. And the outlet, I realized too late, wasn't working. Brandon must have flipped the breaker. I was in the dark, literally and figuratively. Time became elastic. Was it Tuesday? Wednesday? I heard Brandon and Nicole above me, living their lives, watching TV, laughing, arguing about something trivial, what to order for dinner. I pounded on the ceiling with a broom handle I found. Help, please, someone help! Nothing. The house was too far from neighbors. Too isolated. That's why Elizabeth and I bought it. Peace and quiet. My heart thundered in my chest, too fast, too irregular. This was it. This was how I'd die. Locked in my own basement by my own son while he ate takeout and watched Netflix above my head. I thought about Elizabeth, about Sarah, about all the things I should have said, should have done. I thought about Brandon as a kid, the way he'd hug me when I came home from work, the pride in his eyes when I taught him to ride a bike. Where had that boy gone? I must have passed out. When I came to, everything hurt worse. My vision swam. I couldn't feel my left arm. This was it, heart attack, stroke. Whatever they'd poisoned me with was finishing the job. I heard a voice. Female, not Nicole. Sure you don't want me to do the basement too? I can get down there real quick. No, Brandon's voice sharp. The basement's fine. Just the main floors today. Okay, no problem. I'll start with, what's that smell? What smell? Like, I don't know. Something off. Probably just the garbage. We forgot to take it out. Footsteps. A vacuum starting up. The cleaning lady. Brandon had hired a cleaning lady? I used every ounce of strength I had left to pound on the ceiling. Once, twice, 3 times. The vacuum stopped. Did you hear that? Hear what? Like, thumping. From below. Old house. Pipes. Don't worry about it. I pounded again. Harder. My vision went white with pain. There. That's not pipes. Rosa, it's fine. Just, is someone down there? No. It's just storage. Look, if you're uncomfortable. I found my voice. Barely a whisper, but I forced it out. Help. Silence above. Had she heard? Sir, is there someone in your basement? No, of course not. That's ridiculous. Then you won't mind if I check. You're not going down there. I'm a paying customer, and I'm telling you. I'm calling the police. Wait. Rosa, please. You don't understand. My father, he's not well, mentally. He gets confused. He goes down there sometimes and locks himself in, and we have to. Then let me help get him out. No, I'll handle it. You should go. I'm not going anywhere until I see that whoever's down there is okay. Rosa, I'm asking you to leave. Now. And I'm calling 911. I heard it. The blessed sound of Rosa's voice, firm and scared and brave. Yes, I'm at 4738 Maple Ridge Drive. I'm a cleaning service worker, and the homeowner has someone locked in his basement. I can hear them. No, I haven't seen them. The sun won't let me. Yes, I'll stay on the line. Brandon's voice panicked. You just cost me everything. Everything. A crash, Rosa screaming. Then sirens in the distance getting closer. The basement door flew open. Light flooded in, blinding me. Footsteps thundering down. Sir? Sir, can you hear me? We need paramedics. Now. Hands on me. Gentle. Professional. Sir, I'm Officer Mendoza. You're safe now. We're getting you out. I tried to speak, but nothing came. I pointed up to the shelves, to the iPad. Get that, Officer Mendoza called. Bag it. Could be evidence. They carried me up the stairs on a gurney. I saw Brandon in handcuffs, Nicole screaming about lawyers. I saw Rosa shaking, giving her statement to another officer. I tried to thank her, but the oxygen mask covered my face, and the world was tilting. The hospital was a blur. Tests. Questions I couldn't answer. Dr. Patel appeared, her face grim. Edward, you're in acute kidney failure. Your blood work shows elevated levels of ethylene glycol, antifreeze. Someone's been poisoning you, slowly, for at least 2 weeks. Sarah arrived from Seattle, her face stained with tears. Dad. Oh God, Dad. I squeezed her hand. That's all I could manage. The detectives came next. They'd found everything. The iPad recordings, the emails I'd sent, the message on the wall. They'd searched the house, found antifreeze in a container in the garage. My antifreeze, for my car with Brandon's fingerprints all over it. They found it mixed into bottles in the kitchen. Bottles of my vitamins, my orange juice, even my coffee creamer. Nicole cracked first, told them everything, the gambling debts, the loan sharks threatening to break Brandon's legs. The plan to kill me slowly, make it look like natural causes, sell the house, pay off the debts. It was all Brandon, she insisted. I just went along with it. I didn't know how bad. But they found her fingerprints too, on the bottles, on the basement deadbolt. She'd helped. Every step of the way. The trial was 6 months later. I testified from a wheelchair the kidney damage was permanent, but I'd survived. Barely. Brandon stood in the defendant's box, looking small and scared. Not like a son anymore. Like a stranger. The prosecutor played my voice recordings. You could hear me dying in real time, each recording weaker than the last. The jury looked sick. Mr. Mitchell, the prosecutor said, please tell the court what went through your mind when you realized your son intended to let you die. I looked at Brandon, really looked at him, searched for that little boy who used to climb into my lap during thunderstorms. I kept thinking he'd change his mind, that he'd remember who he was, who we were. But addiction doesn't just destroy the addict. It destroys everyone around them. And when someone's desperate enough, drowning in debt and fear, they'll justify anything, even killing their own father. Brandon didn't look at me. He stared at his hands, at the table, at nothing. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty. Both of them. Attempted murder. Elder abuse. Conspiracy. Brandon got 15 years. Nicole got 12. As they led him away, he finally looked at me. There were tears in his eyes. "I'm sorry, Pop. I'm so sorry." I didn't respond. What could I say? Sorry doesn't raise the dead, doesn't heal poisoned kidneys, doesn't erase the memory of dying alone in your own basement while your son watches TV upstairs. Sarah sold the house for me. I couldn't go back there. Too many ghosts, too many memories, both good and poisoned. She found me a condo in Seattle, near her and the grandkids. Somewhere with no basement, no isolation, somewhere safe. Rosa visits sometimes. We've become friends. In that strange way, trauma bonds people. She saved my life by trusting her instincts, by refusing to leave when Brandon told her to. I kept hearing my abuela's voice, she told me once. She always said, "When something feels wrong, it usually is. Don't ignore that feeling." So I didn't. I'm grateful. But gratitude is complicated when you're mourning the son you thought you had while the son you actually have sits in prison. Dr. Patel says I'm lucky to be alive. The amount of antifreeze they gave me should have killed me twice over. My body fought harder than it should have. Elizabeth always said I was stubborn. Late at night, I still hear Brandon's voice through that basement door. "I'm sorry, Pop. We needed you gone." And the worst part? The part that keeps me up at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling of my Seattle condo? Part of me understands. Not the murder, never that. But the desperation. The drowning feeling when you're in over your head and can't see a way out. I remember being 32 with a mortgage, a sick wife, a kid to feed, feeling like the walls were closing in. The difference is, I didn't poison my father to escape it. I think about calling Brandon in prison sometimes. Sarah says I shouldn't. My therapist says I need to focus on healing. But sometimes late at night, when the moon hits the Seattle skyline just right, I imagine what I'd say. Would I forgive him? I don't know. Can you forgive someone for trying to murder you, even if they're your son? Even if they're sorry? Elizabeth would know what to do. She always knew what to do. But Elizabeth's gone, and Brandon's gone too, in a different way. And I'm left here, alive by luck, and a cleaning lady's instincts, trying to figure out how to live with the fact that my own son locked me in the dark and waited for me to die. The doctors say I'm recovering well. My kidneys are stable. My heart is strong. But some kinds of damage don't show up on medical charts. Some kinds of poison never quite leave your system. You just learn to live with it, the way you learn to live with anything that doesn't kill you, even when it almost does. Even when the person holding the poison looks exactly like the boy you used to tuck into bed every night, the one who called you Pop and meant it. That's the real poison, I think, not the antifreeze they put in my coffee. The knowledge that love isn't always enough, that blood isn't always thicker than desperation, that sometimes the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones you need protection from. I'm 67 years old, and I'm still learning that lesson. I hope I'm done learning it soon. But late at night, in my Seattle condo with my daughter down the hall, and my grandkids sleeping safely in their rooms, I still check the locks twice. I still taste my coffee before I drink it. I still listen for footsteps in the hall. Because once you've been locked in the dark by someone you loved, you never quite trust the light again. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's survival. Maybe that's what it means to live through something that should have killed you. You carry it with you, forever. In your damaged kidneys, in your racing heart, in your middle-of-the-night fear, you carry it, and you go on. Because what else can you do? Brandon's up for parole in 10 years. They'll ask me to make a statement, to say whether I think he should be released. I don't know what I'll say yet, but I've got time to figure it out. 10 years is a long time. Long enough, maybe, to decide whether the man who tried to murder me and the boy who used to call me Pop are the same person, or if one of them died in that basement along with everything else I lost. Long enough to decide if forgiveness is possible, or if some things are just too poisonous to survive. I guess we'll see. For now, I'm alive. I'm safe. I'm learning to trust again, slowly, carefully, with Sarah's help and Rose's friendship and my grandkids' innocent laughter. I'm learning that survival isn't about going back to who you were before. It's about becoming someone new, someone who knows the dark and chooses the light anyway. Someone who checks the locks but still opens the door. Someone who was poisoned but refuses to be bitter. Someone who almost died but decided, in the end, that living, really living, is the best revenge of all.